Hey guys, how are you? And welcome back to my Natasha Denona week, day 3. And today is super exciting because last night I couldn't sleep. I was just getting undressed and ready and just removing my makeup and everything. And I couldn't help myself. I needed to do this because I had this idea on my mind to create my own Natasha Denona, like my dream Natasha Denona palette. And I love all the Natasha Denona shadows that I own. I adore them. But a few of the shades from each palette I don't really use. And there are a lot of them that if I'm using that exact palette, I will go to those shades. I will just forget about the rest and go to those shades. And I wanted to do a 28th pan palette, like her old school palettes, but I just couldn't help myself and I added a few more shades, and I even could have added like 5 to 10 more shades because that's how much I love her different formulas. All I wanted to do was to create a palette that would be the perfect palette for me. It's a personalized palette, and you guys know that I'm not into crazy eye makeup looks. Even though I sometimes do dramatic eye makeup looks, this is what I do on an everyday basis. Even though I'm a makeup artist, I will create something a little bit more dramatic from time to time. But this is me. This is me every day. Even if I do it a little bit darker in the outer corners, I just do simple, classy, beautiful makeup. Sometimes even it can look red carpet. Not today because I'm using a few products that I'm trying to use up that I don't love. Regardless of that, I love Natasha Denona shadows, and I wanted to show you my dream palette. And I created that with a bunch of her palettes that I own. So if you want to see my dream Natasha Denona palette, my personalized Natasha Denona palette, created with a ton of her palettes, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I used 10 palettes to create this eyeshadow palette that I'm going to show you. And the palettes that I used were Sunset, Gold, Sunrise, Viva, Joya, Iris, Tropic, Safari, Cranberry palette, and the green brown one. The ones that I used more shades of were the ones that I used 5 shades of. The Gold, the Sunrise, and the green brown palette. And the next one was the Tropic palette. The rest have either 3 or less eyeshadows. Not because I didn't love a lot of the eyeshadows of those palettes, but because I needed to limit myself. But this is how the palette turned out. This is a extra large C palette. And I organized it and I put the mattes right here on top and then the shimmers in the bottom. Okay, so on a realistic Jordana palette, I have 10,000 colors like the ones in the bottom row and these 3 in the second row, except for the reddish one. Those are the shades that I cannot live without. All the rest of them, they can pass me by, but I prefer all the middle transition shades, and those are my favorite shades, even to wear every day. Those are the shades that I prefer. And then for the shimmers, I love pops of blue, so I chose these 2. But the rest of them, I want them to be super neutral. I don't want the golds to be super yellow. And I want either orangey or pinky shades. And you guys know this about me. And from time to time, I will do a metallic grayish tone like this one. But this is not my everyday. So this is a realistic palette that has some bits of cool tone, like the purplish shade right here from the Tropic palette and the lilac-y shade right here. But I overall prefer a warmer palette, and the cool tones that I will choose are colors that are everyday, like the black one as well, or this log shade from the Gold palette. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first row, and I have them written down right here. So the first one, it's the shade Cocoa from the Tropic palette. The second one is Dijon from the Gold palette. The third one is Stick from the Gold palette. Then the fourth one is Aria, also from the Gold palette. The fifth one is from the Tropic palette and it's my favorite shade in the entire palette. And this is Fake Tan. Sixth one is from the Viva palette and it's called Prairie. And the seventh one is from the Cranberry palette and it's called Sakura. So again, this is Cocoa, Dijon, Tick, Aria, Fake Tan, Prairie, and Sakura. And these are beautiful transition shades and I truly love them. I find them to be extremely useful and I would use one of them for each look as a transition, even the reddish one. Or I could use them to darken or any other color as an all over the lid type of color. For the second row, I have lighter shades, and I have a pinky and a lilac-y light shade, a dark brown, a black, and a reddish brown that I love all over the lid, not only as a transition. So I have here Notice from the Tropic palette, then I have from the Safari the shade Aya, from the Safari the shade Lotus, the Log one from the Gold, from the Biba Spot, and then from the Green Brown the shade Sandstorm. Okay, so this is what the second row looks like. This is Noticed, Aya, Lotus, Log, Spot, and Sandstorm. I love this one because this is a peachy, it's a pink with warmth and a hint of peach in it. I adore that shade, and I love that this one is basically a cool tone version of this one. They have the same amount of lightness to them, but this is a lilac-y shade and this is a pink with a hint of peach in it. For the next row, I have here the shades from the Sunrise palette, Morning, Morgan, and Carnelian. And I love these shades. I found them to be extremely useful and beautiful. I have here Senna from the Tropic palette, which is the purplish, light purple shade. And then I have Desert Date from the Safari palette, which is the orangey shade that you see right next to it. Now for the last 5 shades from the third row and the fourth row, I have here Morning, Morgan, Carnelian, Desert Date, and Senna. I love this palette. This is such a spring palette or a summer palette in my opinion. And I love how the mattes from Natasha Denona are perfect. The consistency is beautiful and the way they blend is amazing. Now for the metallics, I have here the first one. It's the nude shade that you can find either on the AERIS palette or the Cranberry palette. I have mine from the Cranberry because the one from AERIS is about to fall apart. Right here I have from the Green and Brown palette, Industrial. Then I have from the Gold palette, Cava. I have here from the Sunset palette, Bronzage. On the next row, I have here Morgana from the Sunset palette. Then from Joya, I have Peach Gold. I have Moonstone from the Green Brown palette, which is my favorite shade of the entire palette. From the Green Brown as well, I have Golden Fish. For the blues, I have my favorite blue, which is from the AERIS palette, and it's called Ice Blue. And then this one, which is a beautiful blue as well, greenish blue, is from the Green Brown palette, and it's called Cloudy Blue. Then I have here from the Biba Rustic, which is one of my favorite shades of the palette. And from the Sunrise, I have Awakening and Acelia. Awakening is the pinky one, and Acelia is the orangey one. Now I'm going to show you swatches of those, and I love the metallics. The formulas are different. I have some that are chroma, I have duochromes there, I have metallics, as well as the mattes. I have mattes, creamy mattes, and cream to powder formula. So I have here Nude, Industrial, Cava, Bronzage, Golden Fish, Moonstone, Peach Gold, Morgana, Acelia, Awakening, Cloudy Blue, and Ice Blue. And you can see how beautiful these shadows are. What I find that I love the most about Natasha Denona shadows is that the matte formulas that she has, the different ones, even the cream to powders or the creamy mattes or the regular mattes, is that they all blend beautifully. The creamy mattes, some of them are a little bit harder to blend, but they blend and they stay put, they stay blended, and they have no fallout. That's why I love the creamy mattes. But the other mattes, they are not extremely powdery. They blend themselves. They mesh well together with other formulas. You can feel the price of the shadows within the shadows formula. And then when it comes to the other formulas, the duochromes, the chroma crystal shadows, the metallics, or they have another one that I can't seem to remember right now. They truly are wonderful and buttery, and the way you see them in the pan is the way they perform on the eyes. So here I have the metallic swatch, and I already showed you a close-up of them, but they are the shimmers that some of them have, they are super finely milled and they look so expensive, and on the eyes as well. I use one today sort of as a topper for Lotus, which is a pinky shade. I just wanted to give it a sort of a sheen, but this is a super natural look. But if I go in and pack the metallics with a brush, they look so intense and pretty. People think you have glitter or pigment in the most expensive way. They just look phenomenal on the eyes, and I'm not gonna get tired of recommending them. So yeah, this is my dream palette from Natasha Denona. It's a 31 pan palette, and I'm thinking about putting this one on my next project progress. What do you guys think? Maybe I will add a few more shades and put it in my project progress. Also, stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which is gonna be how I do a black smoky eye using cream to powder shadow, which is the spot one from the Viva palette. The rest I'm not gonna necessarily use cream to powder, but stay tuned for that because that's the best black that I have in my collection. It's a black that has basically no fallout, and the way it stays on the eyes is amazing. So I'm gonna show you tomorrow how I do that black smoky eye. So for this eyeshadow palette video, the emoji I want is just a painter, how do you call that? A painter palette with all the colors that we have on the emojis. That will be the emoji for this video. And tell me which of the shadows, just individual shadows from Natasha Denona, from each palette that you own, you love. Because I would love to know that, and I would love if I could just add a few more to this palette. So that's it for this video, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow for the 4th day of the Natasha Denona week.